Here's a possible draft for the story of a polar bear: barnacles, honeycomb-like wounds, and rescue teams' efforts. In the heart of the Arctic wilderness, a majestic polar bear struggled against a cruel twist of fate. This particular bear, nicknamed Aurora by local researchers, had become an alarming symbol of the challenges wildlife face in a changing world. Aurora's plight began when she was spotted near a remote stretch of ice, moving sluggishly and clearly in pain. Upon closer observation by a research drone, it became evident that Aurora's body was riddled with peculiar honeycomb-like wounds. These wounds, to the team's astonishment, were teeming with barnacles, organisms usually found clinging to rocks or whales in the ocean. The discovery was as baffling as it was distressing. How could barnacles attach themselves to a polar bear? The rescue team, led by a group of dedicated wildlife biologists and veterinarians, launched a mission to save Aurora. Navigating treacherous ice fields and sub-zero temperatures, they tracked her movements for days. Each step Aurora took seemed labored, her strength waning as the barnacles and infected wounds sapped her energy. When the team finally managed to sedate and examine her, they found that the wounds were likely caused by a combination of frostbite and parasitic infections, exacerbated by the bear's weakened condition. The barnacles had somehow latched onto her open sores, exploiting her compromised immune system. An eerie testament to the interconnectedness of the Arctic ecosystem and the increasing vulnerability of its inhabitants. The rescue efforts were nothing short of heroic. The team carefully cleaned Aurora's wounds, removing the barnacles and treating the infections. They also fitted her with a GPS collar to monitor her recovery once released back into the wild. Aurora's story became a global symbol of the urgent need to address climate change and its impact on Arctic wildlife. Though Aurora's future remained uncertain, the rescue team's efforts ignited hope and a renewed commitment to protecting the fragile balance of life in the polar regions. Her tale serves as a reminder of both the resilience of nature and the critical role humans play in safeguarding it. The aftermath of Aurora's rescue. Aurora's release back into the icy wilderness was bittersweet. Though her wounds were treated, her weakened state and the scars left by the ordeal were a stark reminder of how human activity and environmental changes are impacting the Arctic's most iconic predator. The GPS collar fitted on Aurora became the key to understanding her recovery. Over the next several weeks, the rescue team monitored her movements closely. The data revealed a troubling pattern. Aurora was struggling to hunt. Polar bears rely on sea ice to catch seals, their primary food source, but the rapid melting of ice due to climate change had made her hunting grounds increasingly scarce. The team feared that her compromised health might prevent her from catching enough prey to regain her strength. They debated whether further intervention was necessary, knowing that direct interference could disrupt the natural balance of the ecosystem. After much deliberation, they decided to leave Aurora to navigate her environment, hoping that she would adapt and survive. Meanwhile, news of Aurora's plight spread worldwide. Conservation organizations used her story to highlight the urgent need for climate action. Donations poured in, funding critical research and initiatives to protect the Arctic's fragile ecosystem. Scientists began studying the phenomenon of barnacles attaching to land mammals, theorizing that warming oceans and changing animal behaviors might be creating new, unintended ecological interactions. Aurora's journey wasn't without challenges. A few weeks after her release, her GPS tracker indicated she had ventured farther north, where sea ice was still relatively stable. To the team's relief, she began to show signs of improvement. Her movements suggested she was hunting successfully again, though the scars on her body would always be a reminder of her harrowing experience. Her survival inspired a movement. Local communities, governments, and scientists worked together to develop strategies to preserve polar bear habitats, from reducing greenhouse gas emissions to creating protected marine reserves. Aurora became a symbol of resilience, not just for polar bears, but for the Arctic itself. Months later, the team received one final update from Aurora's tracker before the collar's battery died. She was heading deep into the ice, where she would be out of reach, but also, hopefully, out of danger. The team watched her dot on the map disappear, carrying with it both hope and uncertainty. Aurora's story did not end with her rescue. It became a call to action, a testament to the delicate balance of nature, and a reminder of our shared responsibility to protect the world's most vulnerable creatures. The long,